In today's episode, I want to touch on a topic that I think it's probably not touched on enough, and that is how to be kind to yourself during the process of weight loss, during your journey of losing weight. One of the biggest things that shifted for me while going through the weight loss process is how I talk to myself. Initially, when I was losing weight, I would literally sit there and think all the horrible things about myself, the reasons why I gained weight, abusing my body for years with alcohol and junk food, beating myself up, being over 200 pounds. All I could think of was just getting to that wonderland. And it was a big deal for me. So I was willing to do literally anything to get to the wonderland. If you have been over 200 pounds, you know what the wonderland is. If you haven't, it's basically being in the 100s, breaking that below 200 weight loss. I was willing to do anything to get below the 200 pounds. I knew that fasting worked for me. It worked for me, but I wasn't doing it correctly. 3 years ago when I started, I was doing a lot of fasting, like fasting hard and then binging hard, which was not a healthy thing. I would initially lose quite a bit of weight, but then I would gain it all back because I just wasn't changing what was going on in here and working on myself. I was just using fasting just as another diet, and that's not healthy. I'll do anything basically to get below 200 pounds. I think at that time I was like 240, I think. So I signed up for this insane challenge. Don't do this. I did a 5-day dry fast. I walked 20 miles per day. I did lose 30 pounds, which later I regained quickly within a month. I'm actually surprised that I did not collapse and die during this process. Doing this got me closer. I was about 210 pounds, so I was almost there, almost in the wonderland. Within a month, I went back to using food as a crutch, basically, using food in an unhealthy way, binging and basically fasting to punish myself for the binges. I decided, you know what? F it. If I can't lose the weight or regain, I did a really, really hard thing for a week, walked 20 miles a day, did a really hard fast. If I can't lose this weight, this is not working out for me, I'm just going to throw in the towel and just eat whatever I want. And I remember thinking, no, this is the old you. This is how you used to speak to yourself before. If I start eating again like I used to, I'm going to be right back where I started, and probably even more. I'll probably be around 300 pounds by the end of the year. Something has to change. I have to stop speaking to myself in the tone that I have, punishing myself. I mean, when we think about the way we treat ourselves and the way we speak to ourselves, we would never speak this way to anyone that we know, any of our friends. Like, there's no way. After that challenge, I started thinking, what's needed to be done in order to really change those neuro-linguistic associations in our mind? And that's where, when I developed my course, my Mind Body Boss mentorship, that focuses on building that mental foundation so we can be successful when we lose weight, no matter what diet we use, whether it's fasting or any type of keto or whatever diet. Going back to the way we talk to ourselves, I want you have to keep going. You have to keep going and trust yourself that eventually it's going to happen. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to be angry sometimes, but that's not the reason to quit on yourself. Being disappointed or angry, it just means that you want something bad enough, but maybe it just hasn't happened yet. This made me realize how important the self-talk is. If I continue to beat myself up and punish myself and tell myself how POS I am and how I just can't lose weight, no matter my education, no matter what I know, I probably would be 300 pounds right now. People out there, coaches, trainers, they can tell you exactly how to do this or that, how to exercise, how to eat. I can, as a coach, tell you exactly how to fast and how to exercise and what to eat. If you don't know how to tell yourself not to give up and to keep going when you had a shitty day, or when you don't see the results on that scale, or when your mind is suddenly, in a funk. And if you don't learn how to talk to yourself when those situations happen, you are going to quit. So that self-talk is more important than any of the things you learn out there. One thing that I do when I talk to myself is I actually say my name out loud. When I'm having a crappy day and I'm like, this sucks, that sucks, whatever, I literally say, Monica, stop. You're good enough. Yes, you might you're having a hard day, but you've got this. It's okay. It's okay to feel down. It's okay to have a bad day. It's not okay to quit on yourself. What that does, like when you actually say your name out loud, I don't know if you've ever been in a crowd where, there's lots of chatter out there, and then suddenly someone says your name and you're like, oh, somebody said my name. That's kind of what happens when you say your name out loud. When you're going through stuff like that, your brain takes all that chatter and just focuses on what you're saying. I know it sounds silly, but it works. And I say that often to myself. So what I would also do when I started this journey, of course, I was like, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. And, trying every single diet out there known to man, I knew that it wasn't the diets. It wasn't the exercise. I was working out every day. I was doing this and that. It was this right here. So I started rewarding myself for the little changes that I did. I talked to myself differently. I started inserting new thinking, even when things didn't go my way, even when I had those binges. And another thing that I did is I didn't want to wait till I got to the Wonderland and to suddenly be this whoa, this new person. Because let's be honest, getting to the Wonderland, yes, it's great when you lose that weight and you feel good. But if you don't start liking yourself now, you're not gonna like yourself when you're in the Wonderland. If you don't like yourself now, you're not gonna like yourself with 50 pounds less. So I knew that I had to change my standards. I had to change how I respect myself, how I talk to myself. And I started talking to myself differently and believing that I am good enough, that I do deserve the best. I deserve to feel good and look amazing, not just a certain number on a scale, but just truly feel good inside, feeling confident and just happy. Throughout the process, you have to find ways to cheer yourself up. Of course, you're gonna make mistakes, and you just learn from those mistakes and you forgive yourself. There's no need to spank yourself and beat yourself up if things don't go your way or you mess up. You cannot continue to be the enemy of yourself in weight loss. And as you're losing weight, you have to stop using food to feed those insecurities. If you always tell yourself, I'm fat, I have nothing to wear, maybe instead of using those words, you can say, I can find things to wear. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm working on getting better. So what I want you to do for the next 30 days, I want you to write down every single day something you like about yourself. And those need to be different things. I know that's hard, and you're gonna have those days where you're gonna be so hard on yourself. On those days, you can just say, today I like how I responded to my patient with kindness and compassion. I like that I can be the rock for my family and my friends, and just write those positive things, because I know there are so many amazing positive things about you. If you want to lose weight for good, you have to start talking better to yourself. And none of this is going to work if you don't build a different relationship with yourself. After all, you are the most important relationship you have to work on. You are. So the conversations going on in your mind is what you have to work on. Learn how to change how you talk to yourself. Show up for yourself. Start working on that negative self-talk. Even if it's just, those thoughts are going to pop up. Don't expect them not to pop up. It's just when you first start meditating, you can't just quiet all those things there. It's a process. So those thoughts are going to show up. And when they show up, you say, okay, yep, that's how I used to think, but I don't think like that anymore. Yes, I am enough. Yes, I am strong. Yes, I can do this. I believe that I can do this. So go out there and just be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Start thinking and talking to yourself differently, because you deserve the best. You're amazing. Don't forget that.